So Rob Schneider's in the news, and I am as surprised as you that I'm saying that right now. Why is he in the news? Is it because there's a new hot Netflix original Adam Sandler movie coming out? Shockingly, no. Rob Schneider went after civil rights activist and House Representative John Lewis on Twitter. Oh yeah, it just gets worse from here. So Rob Schneider said, quote, "Rep. Lewis, you are a great person, but Dr. King didn't give in to his anger or his hurt. That is how he accomplished and won civil rights." So something that you probably should be aware of going into this is that John Lewis was friends with Dr. King, worked incredibly closely with him. He was part of the Big Six in the 1963 March on Washington. They were going to throw up a photo right now of John Lewis on the front lines with Dr. King during the 1965 March. And Twitter knows this. You guys know this now. And basically, They made some pretty funny comments about this. They said, "Rob Schneider and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry."
By the way, another fun fact, John Lewis is the only surviving speaker from that day.
Yeah, from
the March on Washington.
And also, someone said, at Rob Schneider, "Don't white-splain MLK to the man who literally sat at the table with MLK." And Matt Jacobs, this is maybe my favorite, says, "Home Alone 2 just keeps getting worse." So obviously, Donald Trump and Rob Schneider were both in Home Alone 2, a movie I have never seen. Feel grateful to have never seen it. Why was Rob Schneider speaking out? It's because John Lewis said in an interview that he doesn't view Donald Trump as a legitimate president because of the Russian hacking interference on the election. And whether or not you agree with that or whatever, you still should not explain Martin Luther King to John Lewis, who's such a badass. I would really encourage you guys to check out some of his work. I was trying to find something that I retweeted that he did on the floor like a while ago, and it was super cool. He's a really cool guy. Hopefully this draws attention.
I believe he was a part of was it a filibuster? I think?
Yes, yeah, he was part of the filibuster.
Part of the Democratic filibuster where Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, I believe, were sitting on the Senate floor in order to, what was it?
And he gave a speech.
Damn it, he did give a speech. I think it was gun control. It was expanding background checks on all guns after a quick overnight bill was passed in the Senate. After another shooting had happened, I believe.
Yeah, so hopefully this weird Twitter scandal, I don't know, whatever you want to.
Does John Lewis use his own Twitter account? Do you think he has access to his own Twitter account?
I don't know if he has. I'm sure he has access to it. I'm not sure if he tweets.
What would he tweet back at Rob Schneider?
I have no idea. But hopefully this gets people talking about
burn, bro.
What John Lewis has been doing and what he's a part of. I think he's just such a great guy. I'm super you can't really say anything without diminishing all the hard work that he's put into the civil rights movement. But I think this raises a larger question that I have for you, Hasan, about celebrities and speaking up with regards to politics. Now, we know that Nicole Kidman got a little bit of flack for saying that she would support the president, but she also said in that interview, "I don't like to comment on politics. I'm an issue-based spokesperson. I like to speak about women's issues," but she was asked directly about Donald Trump, and she said, "Yeah, I guess I'll support him." And then she got a lot of flack for that. And then Rob Schneider takes to Twitter, speaks out against John Lewis, gets all this backlash. When do you think it's appropriate for celebrities to speak up?
What do you mean? They speak up on whatever they want, whenever they want.
Right, I know they do, but when is it appropriate and when should they pass the mic?
Why is it up to us to decide when it's appropriate?
I'm just asking the question.
In my opinion, but that's my opinion. They can talk about whatever they want, whenever they want, and I'll shit on all of them for the most part because usually they're idiots and they say dumb shit.
Okay.
In this instance, Rob Schneider, I don't even understand. I don't even know where to begin with this. Just don't try to explain MLK to someone or anyone. As a white person, you can definitely have a better understanding of history and still be able to school, let's say, a black person on MLK, on the historical references, but probably not someone that was there. Probably not someone that was sitting at the table. Probably not someone that was also threatened. Their lives were threatened. And by the way, speaking of MLK, this is something that a lot of people, this is something that pisses me off about a lot of people. In the end of the day, while Martin Luther King was alive, and it's especially ironic now that you see the FBI, for example, tweeting out "Oh man, we love MLK, we're remembering him today." It's oh, really? You guys are remembering him when intelligence agencies back then largely viewed him as a terrorist and threatened his life, tried to blackmail him, went as far as to send incriminating like releasing incriminating information about him, and then he was assassinated. So like back then they didn't view him as a peaceful protester. They didn't. So this is really important. In my opinion, this is especially relevant now because everyone that dissents against Donald Trump, everyone's like, oh man, he's our president. He's our president. No, if you feel like Donald Trump is infringing on your rights, you have to go out and protest. Otherwise, we will succumb to autocracy. That's how it works. And it's just more relevant now than ever because that's what MLK did. So no, he didn't sit around and allow, I mean, unlike what Rob Schneider thinks, no, he didn't give into his anger or his hurt. I don't know what he was trying to say there, but
I have no idea what he was trying to say.
I mean, but he was, by the way, won civil rights. Like, what does that even mean? That is how
he won! It was a big game!
That is how he accomplished
and he
it.
just
Won
won
civil
it.
rights. I don't even know what that...
Racism
I'm trying to
is
break it down.
over.
I'm trying to break it down what he's saying, but like it's very hard to. I don't understand what he's trying to say. But I guess it's only 140 characters or less. And also Rob Schneider, a man, career full of accomplishments where he dresses up in Asian face.
How are you going to go after John Lewis in 140 characters less? If Rob Schneider really sat down, thought to himself, I think I have a really good argument. I really disagree with what Representative Lewis said in this interview about our president being legitimate. I really disagree with him. I want to craft 140 characters or less of a retort back at him. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It merits more words than that. Give yourself, if you really feel like you have a leg to stand on, which is unfortunate that you do, Rob Schneider, I'm sure he's watching, then you should take the time to at least like an email, like a big email, and maybe, send it to John Lewis directly if you disagree with him, and
write it out and don't send it. Write it out and just don't send it.
That's a better option for sure.
Write it out, let out all your frustration. Show it to your friends. Say, you know what? I showed
Show it to
John
Adam
Lewis.
Sandler.
Yeah, show it to Adam Sandler. Maybe you guys will make a movie about it. And then, you know what? Maybe you guys...
don't make a movie.
Yeah, make a movie on Netflix.
No one.
You guys can all wear blackface, because essentially that's what Adam Sandler's movies are now becoming. Just do that instead. See what happens. I'm sure it'll be one of the most viewed fucking Netflix movies of all time, because that's what happened with the Hateful Eight Banditos or whatever the hell that was.
Well, this devolved rather quickly. But hey, any story that involves Rob Schneider sometimes does that. So
Rob Schneider is a stapler.
Okay. So, guys, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. What do you think about this whole Rob Schneider story? When is it okay for celebrities to speak out on Twitter? Is that ever the appropriate platform to voice, your opinion about the political discourse in this country? I don't know. The world's on fire. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.